Hello everyone, I'm Çağrı. Today I'm going to talk about chapter 4, language. But I want to ask you something before my presentation. How are you? I hope you're okay. Now I can start my presentation. Language is essential for planning events, expressing emotions, and recording thoughts. It creates our world, and critical thinking requires careful attention to words. This chapter focuses on choosing the right words, defining them, and identifying the emotive and slanted messages they carry. We must pay careful attention to words to understand our world. These are the titles that I'm going to talk about today. Actually, you know the titles because you wrote the book. And I can start my presentation with my first title, Finding the Right Words, The Need for Precision. This part emphasizes the importance of precise communication, especially in the context of argumentation. It highlights how what may seem clear to one person can be confusing to another due to vague or imprecise language. The example provided demonstrates how a reader can question the meaning of terms like sweet shop, minimal pay, and suffocating conditions. The text suggests that thinking critically and effective argumentation require recognizing and addressing impressive language, which can be vague, overly general, or ambiguous. In summary, the part underscores the significance of clarity and precision in communication, particularly when making arguments. Vagueness. Vagueness in language refers to the inexact meaning of words or phrases. Examples include minimal pay, rich, and middle-aged. Vague words divide things into three classes: those to which the word clearly applies, those to which it clearly does not apply, and those to which it may or may not apply. Most words are vague to some degree, with some being extremely vague, moderately vague, and very precise. Vague language is useful in various contexts, such as speaking with caution when lack of precise information, adding richness to poetry and literary forms, and in diplomacy to avoid disclosing important information. However, it should be avoided as it can frustrate clear thinking and communication. For example, living in a police state with vague laws could make it difficult to determine what conduct is prohibited. Overgenerality. Vagueness and overgenerality are two distinct concepts. Vagueness refers to words with fuzzy or inexact boundaries, causing unclear borderline cases. On the other hand, overgenerality refers to words providing too broad and unspecific information in a given context. For example, more than two is not vague but overgeneral, as it is not specific enough to be satisfactory in a given context. Sometimes, words can be both vague and overgeneral, as seen in the example of describing lost luggage. Ambiguity. Ambiguity is a doubtful sense of a word or phrase, often resulting from uncertainty about its meaning. It can be used in puns and jokes, but can also destroy arguments if used unintentionally. Ambiguity is often confused with vagueness, which is imprecise due to blurry boundaries and unclear borderline applications. Syntactical ambiguities result from faulty grammar or word order. Miscommunication can occur when a word has multiple meanings and the intended meaning is not clarified by definition or context. Verbal disputes and factual disputes can result from ambiguous terms, while assessing the truth of ambiguous claims can be nearly impossible. The importance of precise definitions. A convincing argument often relies on clear and accurate definition of language. Failure to define terms carefully can result in a messy battle, with some participants struggling to find the truth and others fighting to avoid it. For example, former President Clinton's political career nearly came to a halt due to disagreements on a definition of sexual relations. In many discussions, terms may need to be defined before a position can be advanced. The interpretation of documents like the Constitution heavily depends on our definitions of key terms, and courts decide on a case-by-case basis. Types of definitions. In an argument, it's crucial to understand that your audience may have different understandings of certain terms. So it is essential for provide different definitions for each audience. Now I will tell you this in 4 items. Such definitions are subjective, determining the meaning of a term. They are often used by writers to label cultural trends, political movements, schools of thought, and discoveries, but rarely cause problems unless clearly explained. Persuasive definitions are subjective arguments that aim to persuade a reader or listener to agree with the speaker's point of view, often containing emotional appeals and slanted terms, and are convincing only if well defended. Lexical definitions and precise definitions provide standard language usage for words, such as rug, referring to heavy fabric used to cover floors, while pastel refers to a soft shade. Precising definition make vague words more precise, allowing clearer understanding and accurate assessment. They avoid fanfical, biased, or personal qualities and must be appraised for the specific context, ensuring clear understanding and accurate assessment. Strategies for defining. Writers employ various strategies to clarify word meanings, although not strictly defined, but each has limitations that should be acknowledged in specific contexts. They are divided into 6 headings. Ostensive definitions are useful for explaining word meanings by pointing to or demonstrating the thing being defined. However, they have limitations, as visitors might assume a door is made of wood or hanged. Enumerative definitions provide specific examples to clarify the meaning of a word, such as baseball, play, river, actor, or Bible Belt state. However, they can be incomplete and may lead to misunderstanding or limited understanding. Definitions by subclass assign meaning to words by listing subclasses of the general class. Similar to enumeration, they clarify meaning but can lead to misunderstandings and require familiarity with the class names. A good dictionary provides etymological definitions of words, including pronunciation, ancestry, and usage. Understanding a word's etymology can help define it correctly and use it properly. However, dictionaries cannot contain all meanings due to changes in language and bias. The Oxford English Dictionary is considered the best English dictionary, offering extensive definitions and etymologies. Synonymous definitions assign meaning to words by offering a synonym, such as loquacious, meaning talkative, and degrading, meaning harmful. They help reduce confusion in technical jargon. However, few true synonyms exist in English, preventing misunderstandings. Definition by genus and difference is a useful strategy for defining terms by identifying a general class and specifying a differentiating quality that distinguishes them from others. This method is often used by lexicographers to create definitions, such as defining an automobile as a passenger vehicle with 4 wheels and internal combustion engine. However, it can be used to define a word without fully capturing its essence, as seen in Plato's definition of human being. Rules for constructing good lexical definitions. A good definition is essential for critical thinking contexts. It should be broad and concise, conveying the essential meaning of the word being defined, providing context for ambiguous words, avoiding semantic definitions, avoiding figurative definitions, avoiding needlessly obscure definitions, and avoiding circular definitions. A good definition should apply to all and only the things being defined. Provide context for ambiguous words. Avoid slanted definitions. Avoid figurative definitions. Avoid needlessly obscure definitions, and avoid circular definitions. These rules help construct some definitions and evaluate others. Amateur language, slanting the truth. This part discusses the use of language in conveying information and defending claims and arguments. Clarity, precision, objectivity, and clear definitions are essential for making ideas comprehensible and convincing. However, we may fall under the sway of those who use powerful language. For example, college brochures often use amateur language to appeal to readers' feelings and desires. Rather than providing accurate information, this can lead to misleading information, as a writer may slant the truth to make the college more attractive, rather than providing accurate information. The emotive power of words. Emotional power in language comes from denotation, connotation, and sound. Words can convey feelings and reactions through experiences, culture, religion, and sound. Motor vehicle names like Ranger, Explorer, and Blazer can convey strength, adventure, wealth, status, speed, or freedom. Sound can also influence associations with positive emotions. Euphemism and political correctness. Euphemisms are mild, comforting words used to describe actions and places associated with bodily functions. They are often used to hide reality or avoid facing the truth, such as when downsizing itself is a euphemism for firing. Government employees and politicians are notorious for using euphemism, such as when the military refers to civilian casualties for collateral damage and soldiers as expendable resources. The media has also promoted the use of euphemisms, such as when a vice president asked reporters to refer to U.S. Marines pictured in Fallujah, Iraq, as sharpshooters rather than snipers. Over the past few years, euphemisms for various people and groups have proliferated, often as an attempt to find language more precise than commonly used words. However, the term political correctness has become excessive, with euphemism being used to conceal reality. Critical thinkers should strive to remain aware of euphemisms that conceal reality and make every effort in their writing to use accurate and precise language. That's all I want to tell you today. Thank you for listening to me.